Camp, what do you think we do when there's no comps? Do you know? What do you think? What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Clint here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today, is this thing focusing? This thing's focusing. There we go. All right. Hey, today we are looking at a video that I made for some of my team members on what you do when there's no comps. Okay, so oftentimes if you're in the land investing space, we'll be looking at deals and we won't be able to find straightforward comps. It's a very common problem, and so I had a deal sent to me, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity to walk through what we do when there's no comps. If you don't know me, my name is Clint Turner. I run Away Land Company, as well as Learn.land. We're a company who can help you start, scale, or grow your land investing business. So if we can help you anywhere in that realm, check out the description. Hopefully we can get on a call together. But hey, hope this video serves you. This is a big question I get all the freaking time. What do I do when there's no comps? And we'll hop in this video. Hey, if you like this, if it gives you some value in your business, you would do me a huge solid. I'm not asking for anything from you other than a subscribe. If you hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment, do you like this style of video? I've said this in previous videos. Making content is not one of my natural desires and strengths, but I love to serve other investors how we can. And so through the normal course of our business, we create a lot of really great materials, education, mastermind content, all sorts of stuff. So let me know if you like this style of video, a little bit of behind the scenes in the kitchen style stuff, and we'll keep it going. All right, that's all I got for you today, and let's jump into the video. See ya. Okay, what's going on? Hello. I was just going through a deal that somebody sent me. And this is a benefit of having a network. Somebody sent me this deal on Instagram. Could be a potential deal, could not. Well, I guess we'll find out. But I was going through this property and realized this was a pretty solid example of, on first glance, when you can't find comps for a deal, what do you do? All right. I get this question a lot. Is I'm looking at a piece of property that somebody called me about or wants to sell, but I can't find like a good comp or two good comps or enough to get me confident on the data I need to make my pricing decision. So that happens a lot. And so I kind of wanted to show you how I would go through and evaluate a deal like that. So let's do it. Okay, so we're looking at this property here. I'm not going to click it because it'd get all the information away. And this was my deal. I would happily give all the info away. I'd tell you everything about it, but this is not my deal. Somebody sent this to me, so I'll try and keep it somewhat vague. But anyway, it's this deal here. It's excluding this home, just this 200 acre tract. So I wanted to go out and price this. Okay. So what do I always do? Well, I go to Lands of America. I think that's the best place to price anything, especially in the southern half of the United States. That's where almost every sale will eventually go through. So I think it is a great place to start. So here is my search. Okay. Looking for comps on a 200 acre parcel. What do I get? I get a 28 acre developed, 20 acres development, 15 acres, much closer to town. So not really exactly what I'm looking at. The property is up in this area here, kind of up in this northern range. And I will say this is a tiny city. This is a very tiny city way on the outskirts of any major market. So demand's overall going to be lower there. Anyhow, just giving you kind of how I'd think that through. So this is the initial search I get when I look for this property. And so let's see what I have. This is just a generic auction posting. You can tell because it's in the center of a city. That means they didn't put the location in because they want you to call them. So that's not a good comp. This one here is a $15 million, 8,500 acre ranch. Not a good comp. 1,400 acres for 1.8 million. It gives me a little data, but not a lot. And then these start to get farther away from where this property I'm looking at is. Okay. These start to get farther away, start to give you a little bit of an idea. So I want to show you what I would do if I were to come in here and try and figure out what this 200 acre piece of property would be worth. There's always a conversation of maybe I could subdivide it and do something with it. So really what you're just looking for here is what are people buying, right? And this is kind of a whole nother lesson in itself, but anyhow, we're looking for what people are buying. Okay. So first off, I'm gonna turn the satellite on here. And then actually it might be harder to see with that. So I'll just leave this up. So the first thing I would do is I'd come in and I'd set filters. I don't know why, but for some reason, in Lands of America, when you set filters, it just brings up different data sets. I don't know why. But even if like this huge range I'm putting in here, 2 to 350, 20 to 350, I think getting price points in any of those ranges would give me some good data to look at. But just by doing this, I'm going to get a couple extra more listings here. Next thing is I come in
I come in and add sold and off market in here, and I apply these, and you start, still getting a little more. Property I'm looking for is kind of down in this area, so still not a lot. So maybe I zoom in a little more and do a search. Okay, I'm starting to get a little more. So that's one thing you can do, is kind of playing with the filters a little bit. And land's just weird sometimes. Like, I feel like many times I've put the same criterion twice and I've gotten a different answer back. So a lot of times you just got to fiddle around with like changing your data sets. I find adding off market properties is good too if you don't use this status, because a lot of times that is just an auto field based on how a realtor or somebody takes the listing offline. So those can give you good data too, or good realtors to call, which is my next thing. Is I would always call a realtor for somebody out here if I couldn't figure out the property. Like, obviously homeboy here with Whitetail, he lists a lot of properties in this area. So you can see that he has maybe has a good idea. Next thing I do is I would zoom out. Okay. Just because the property is right here, generally who you're serving, you're going to be serving this market, this market, this market, and then more of your major markets like the Dallases, and probably not Denver too far. So those are basically the markets you're going to be serving, maybe Kansas City. But for the most part, most of your buyers are going to be out of this Oklahoma area, this northern western Texas area, or maybe from a major market down here. So that said, with that general thesis, you can just say, okay, well, where are other properties with similar data points, right? This property is probably a good, from any of these other major markets, it's 2 to 3 hours away. From Oklahoma City is like 2 hours away. So, you can go look and see what are other pieces of property in these ranges selling for. So I would kind of zoom out here, and I'd start looking around. That was actually a little bit too wide. I'd probably come in like to this range here. And then you can start seeing, hey, there's some more data points over here. Again, these are a little closer to Oklahoma City. You got to realize you're a little farther away. So it's probably going to impact the price, but still going to give you ideas, right? 160 for 320, that's 200, that's 2,000 an acre. 200 for 460, that's about 2,000 an acre. 5,000 an acre. So you can start seeing things with houses and stuff start to skew the data a little bit. This one's waterfront, selling closer to 4,500 an acre, given these are also closer over here. You can look up here in these kind of neighboring areas. Like, let's see what stuff is going for up here. If we redo the search, you start getting a lot of data points up here. See, so I got 80 for 120. It's about 1.2 to 1.4. It's closer to what I'm at. This one's got a little development on it, so I normally am going to skip it. 200 for 200 acres for 300K. We have 200 acres, a little closer to the city, but I don't know that it has as much waterfront, although it did have a pond. So this is a comp that you could look at and kind of see if it's relative or not. And so really kind of using properties that aren't just necessarily in the same geographical search box of like Elk City, Oklahoma, but that like serve the same markets. So serve the Amarillo, serve the Oklahoma cities, serve the Dallas Fort Worths. Really, I would, try and stick as close as you can to the property, and then starting to come in here and see what pops out. And obviously you're going to have to adjust prices the farther away you get from the major market. Maybe back over here, I can almost guarantee you if I just run this search again, I'm going to find something that like I didn't see the first time. I see these didn't come up right here the first time I ran this. This one has a house on it. It's not that helpful. House, not that helpful. And we could go in and remove residences. Doesn't always work. And so we get a little more here. And I bet you if I went in here and fiddled with my filters even a little more, if I made this 40 to like let's say 300, you may start to get some different results in here. You search up here. And so you're going to start to see, okay, I can take some ideas of what land was selling for a little closer to town. Looked like 2,000 to 3,000 an acre just from my general bird's eye view of it. And I can get some listings out here that are within, an hour or so of the property. Let's see this one here, 60 for 280. Oh, my math off the top of my head. Okay, so a little under 2,000. That makes sense. Farther away from the city. Does have the water feature. I already saw that one. 40 for 750. That's likely got some sort of farming or development on it. 120 for 96. I didn't see that one. I've clicked around for the last half hour making this video. Didn't see this one. So that is less than 1,000 an acre. So as like the thesis I'm starting to form is that things were 2 to 3,000 an acre over here, and it looks like we're drifting under the 2,000 per acre mark over here. So for a general property, 200 acres has a lot of the same features you might find. It's got a little bit of water features. Anyway, not going to evaluate the whole usability of the property here, but for parcels of the same size, I'm seeing that it's probably going to be worth around $1,500 an acre. That's where I would draw my initial estimates. If I still wasn't sure, I would go find the person who was selling a lot of the land in the area and I would start to call them. But if you're looking at properties that are farther out from the major markets, like they're all far out. So you can go and you can look to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south and find things with similar characteristics, even if it's an hour away, 20, 40, 60, 100 miles away. Oftentimes they're going to carry a lot of the similar pricing characteristics. So anyway, I was looking at that deal, thought it might help. That's all I got. See you later.